These are your Saturday morning updates. We got UK hospitals and blood banks being hacked. And just one more of the cyber polygon scenarios has been checked off. And it's finally happened yesterday. The first AAA bond losses since 2008. These are not supposed to go bad. And yet, even without a financial crisis, we have a bond imploding out there. And is your car stolen? The one you bought from the dealer? It could be. One family's story will follow. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all around the world and all over the place. We got a lot of stuff to cover, so let's jump right into it. We do want to thank our sponsor before we dive in, Genesis Gold Group. They help people who have retirement accounts to get out of stocks and bonds over into gold, silver, and platinum. If you want physical metals in your retirement account to safeguard you, you might want to talk to Jonathan and his team. There'll be a link at the end of the video, or you can always find their phone number down in the description down below. If you give them a call directly, make sure you mention this channel so you do get that setup fee waived. All right, like I said, multiple London hospitals in the UK and blood banks have been hacked with sensitive patient data stolen on donors and recipients. Not only that, but they had to reschedule over 1,500 surgeries. About 800 of them were elective outpatient surgeries, but 700 of them were hospital surgeries. And that's a big deal, friends. One of their tech companies that was doing back-end servicing for their computers and everything like that was hacked, and that has led to that. Also, we have our first CLO. It was rated AAA by Wall Street. That it has now failed to return on principal. So basically, when you loan money and you're going to get interest back on that bond, that's kind of how that works. You get your principal back, you get all the money you put in, plus you get your interest out, right? Well, this CLO, which, if you remember back to the 2008, you remember those mortgage-backed securities where they took a whole bunch of mortgages and mushed them all together and then like, hey, these are all terribly individually, these mortgages are terrible, but if we put them all together, then they're good. Well, they just decided to do the very same thing, but with commercial-backed securities. So mortgages to companies for office buildings and such like that, they basically did the very same thing. Well, this is the first one outside a financial crisis, and the first one since 2008 that has failed to return back the principal to the borrowers and to the lenders, right? So it was a $300 million bond, and it lost about $100 million. So those investors are just they lost 32% of their investment. Off it went into the sunset, never to be seen from again. And see, the whole point of these credit ratings is like, AAA is the strongest, best rating you can possibly get. These things should never crumble, even in a financial crisis, right? I mean, the double A's may be during a financial crisis. Single A's, okay, during a financial crisis. But once you get below that, below investment grade, that stuff's still, supposed to be secure. But AAA's aren't supposed to implode ever. And the fact that this is happening right now should tell you the kind of strain that's happening on the banking system in the background. All right, Ukraine launched 4 attacks on 4 different refineries. They launched a whole bunch of drones, lots of interceptions, lots of things blowing up and fire on the ground. Of course, Russia's saying that they intercepted everything, and Ukraine's like, you didn't intercept anything, and, the truth is somewhere in between, right? So 4 refineries apparently did suffer damage. Also, there were strikes on military bases and everything like that. So lots going on over there, but Ukraine is putting up a fight and not rolling over. But reports on the ground are that things are not going well for Ukraine. This is a report from Bella. And this is important for you to be listening to, especially if you just bought a car recently. A lady in Ohio opened her front door the other day to 2 state troopers and another guy from a federal agency. She was then informed that the vehicle she and her hubby bought 4 months ago had been stolen 4 years ago in Florida. They bought it from a local dealer, and the title seemed good. Tell me why in the world they would be investigating a theft over 4 years ago rather than real crimes going on right now. But so these law enforcement officers took the family's vehicle, and the dealer provided a substitute until this issue works out, quote unquote. So the vehicle is probably financed, the bank is out of the money, and the couple is out of money and have no vehicle to transport their kids around in. In the 4 years after getting stolen, the vehicle had been titled in 3 separate states and then sold at an auction. The NCIS database has not been updated since the vehicle was stolen 4 years ago. You ever wonder, like, do people really steal cars anymore? And, like, how do they get away with that? Like, just, how does that even make sense in this day and age, right? Well, this is probably why. The fact that they don't actually update the databases to make sure that cars that are being titled, like, aren't stolen. Absolutely insane. We have how many trillions of dollars going to the federal government to protect us? And yet nobody's updated the database in 4 years? Like, that's kind of a practical service that, you know, federal agencies should probably do once in a while. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. More and more, you just kind of look at it and you go, why do we have a federal government? Other than to attack other countries that we don't care about and defend other countries that more or less we don't care about. Now, I mean, we have our favorites out there and everything like that. But I mean, do we really want to send our young men to go bleed and die in those foreign lands for those other countries? For countries that will never, ever bleed and die for us. Anyway, so when the dealer bought it at auction in Georgia, then brought it to Ohio and sold it to this couple in February, he had no idea it was stolen. Someone make this stuff make sense. Simple. They're just basically taking our tax money and giving us diddly squat for it. That's what they're doing with it. Pam, my son was at Walmart in Stillwater, Minnesota. No, not one package of any beef. Absolutely none. Even the cuts, even the cuts that nobody buys, there's none. Okay, that's what I meant. Elizabeth says, East Tennessee, we have been having big problems with our Verizon service. We originally thought it was our phones. Spoke to our UPS delivery man who lives in a city an hour away. He's been having the same problems and said many people are telling him the same thing. So a bunch of you chimed in about issues with cell phone service. I'm not sure if that's just regular ebb and flow, just people having problems with cell phone towers, some cell phone towers being down for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but I'm hearing just enough of them that it's got me wondering a little bit. But I think it's mostly just regular, when they have to take a tower down for service, a lot of times that tower has like AT&T, Verizon, maybe T-Mobile on there as well. And like all of them are on the same tower. So that does happen. TY, or Ty, says, Savannah, Georgia. I did a Walmart pickup yesterday. I parked in a spot, but the girls wanted me to drive over to the door where they were coming out of the building. Then they damaged the loaf of bread and put it at the bottom of my cloth bag. I pulled it out just before they put 2 64-ounce jars of peanut butter on top of the bread. So now I had to wait in line at customer service. One thing for sure, those girls were not working there because they were waiting on a slot in the NASA's rocket program. Greg says, I went to the drugstore with my mom the other day. Didn't look close to anything, I didn't look too close at anything, but the aisles reminded me of a checkerboard. All the red squares were empty. Seemed like that was, and this is at Walgreens, by the way, seemed like what you were needed was there, but maybe not the brands you were looking for. I bought some witch hazel, hydrogen peroxide, but Walgreens store brand were short. Rich, and that was in Nature Coast, Florida. Rich says United Health computers are down in Rhode Island for at least 2 days now. Now, of course, they were the same guys that got hacked with the Change Healthcare. That was down for like a month back in February and March. So I'm not hearing that from any other sources. I didn't find any news sources to corroborate that. Is anyone else having problems with their computer systems, particularly United Health or other prescription companies out there? So Rich had to pay cash for their prescriptions because they couldn't get verified if they had insurance and such. Marsh Mom in South Louisiana. Egg price for 5 dozen jumped from $9 up to $14 in 1 week at the Walmart. So is anyone else seeing price jumps in eggs? Let me know if you've seen a big price jump in your area with eggs. If you have an update for that or for anything else on this channel, make sure you pop a comment on this video or any video here. Make sure you use the word update somewhere in there to let us know what's going on. And we got Joe from Survival Living sharing some information here too. We couldn't get parts from Mazda to fix cars here in Florida yesterday due to the hack because of no invoices. So that's probably related to the CDG hack out there, and that is causing a lot of problems for a lot of parts companies, and there is no end in sight for that just yet. They tried to bring their system back online, and they got hacked right again, so they probably didn't get the guys out of the system. It was probably they were probably burrowed more deeply into the system than the CDG guys thought they were. CDK. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said CDG. CDK. Kelly in Ocean Springs, Mississippi said yesterday, an odd thing happened with my 2 separate accounts with AT&T. Our cell phones went out, and at the same time, so did our internet. These accounts are not connected, 2 separate bills, no landline either. We had no way to connect with anyone. My husband went to the AT&T store, and all the employees' cell phones were out there as well. And they had no clue what happened. It was an overall eerie feeling. I guess they meant eerie. Late last night, everything came on at the same time. All I could think of was, what if it was the power that was off? We've lost power to our well, so that means no water. Although we have generators and reserved water, how long is that going to last? I have lots of food and preps, but I feel like it's never enough. The scary thing is that we could lose everything in a split second. Not only this, but last week I got a message from my cell phone that AT&T, that 911 was back in service. I had no idea we lost it. I really pray the people wake up and prep. And that is wise words out there. To get stocked up and to be thinking about what will you do if the system goes down. If you're eating your preps, drinking your preps, where will you get more? Where will you get more? Do you have a plan? Do you have partnerships? Do you have relationships? And do you have plans? That's all important stuff. If you want to check out some more stuff about how to be more prepared, over on Poplar Prepper is a video over here, and that will be coming up right around 1 p.m. this afternoon. Until then, this will be just another video on the channel. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold Group, there'll be a link right here for you to find out more what you can do with your IRA or 401k. All right, so thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.